Welcome back. You're watching us here on Chartbusters on CNBC-TV18. We've been talking about the auto sales having seen a recovery in the month of June. However, passenger vehicle sales have remained muted. Automakers are also grappling with the issue of non-availability of rare earth magnets, as a result of which the EV space may face some issues in the very near future. Will they or won't they? We have CS Vigneshwar, who's the president of the Federal, the Automotive Dealers Association, as we know it as FADA. Thanks a lot for joining in, Mr. Vigneshwar. The obvious question, while passenger vehicles are soft, two-wheelers are doing well. What have you seen in the month of July so far? How have inventory levels been for both passenger and the two-wheelers? And at the same time, what's your view on e-vehicles? Because the rare earth issue could cause some sort of supply chain issues, right?
As far as we got to understand from the manufacturers, I think the rare earth metals will affect ICE as well as EV vehicles, hybrids including. But however, we haven't seen manufacturers stop any vehicle production or tell dealers that they need to stop selling a particular variant of a vehicle as yet. There have been certain variant unavailability issues, but that is much before the issues of rare earth metals and magnets have been there. So we have to watch that. However, it's too early to call July, how the month is going to go. The month of June was quite decent. We've been having positive growth in every sector, whether it's two-wheeler, three-wheeler, commercial vehicles. The commercial equipment has done really well. I mean, they've grown nearly 55% last month. So it's been overall quite decent. Even the passenger vehicle grew by about 2.45%. We wanted to grow much faster. But even the early, during the beginning of this year from FADA, we had predicted that the passenger vehicle segment would be growing in the lower single digits. Most of it is on track. However, we could do without the Trump announced trade wars, or also in terms of the rare earth metal availability. If this happens, probably we need to revise the growth figures lower.
All right. Hi, Mr. Vigneshwar. Good morning, and thanks a lot for joining in. Nigel on this side. We would all wish for a more rational Trump. Hopefully, we'll see signs of that in the coming days. That said, give us a sense in demand. As you said, there's a little bit of a perk up in demand in the month of June. How are you seeing the trends emerging? Rural doing better than urban?
The rural has always been doing well for us in the last couple of years. And that's been the Bharat, which is really driving India. Apart from that, we've also seen that the walk-ins are quite decent. We also checked on the sentiment survey which we have every month with our dealers. It's quite muted. It's a little bit damp. But having said that, we've been having great monsoons. The kharif crop has been great. The stock market has been doing decently well. So when you look at the macroeconomic and anything which contributes, it's been doing decently well. So we're not too scared about it. And we also have seen that government capex expenditure from whatever signs we have seen is going to go up in the second financial quarter. So things are looking pretty strong for the auto sector, and hope this translates into retails.
All right. And what about commercial vehicles? They have been not so good, even as we've seen some recovery across the board for passenger vehicles, a lot better for two-wheelers. The commercial vehicles usually depend on how the capex cycle is likely to come by. What is your view? How is that likely to do in the latter part of this year?
As I mentioned before, we are seeing signs of the government capex expenditure improve in this current quarter, which means which is already translated into the commercial. The construction equipment has already gone up, really about 55% over last year, and this is fantastic. This is really good because these are early signs. Usually, the construction equipment goes up when capex is being spent, and then the commercial vehicle goes up next. So this all goes well, and if government capex goes up, there's going to be a good effect on the economy of the overall auto sector.
What about tractors as a segment? We have had a fairly good monsoon. I mean, at least the start has been good, and probability is that we have a decent showing in the monsoon season. What kind of trends are you observing for the tractors?
The tractors been doing well. It's been growing at about 8.08% year on year. In the month of June. But when you take the first 3 months into consideration, the tractor has again grown at about 6.28%, which is great. These are decent growths. And with the Kharif season coming and the monsoons playing a good part, things are only going to improve here. So the rural sector will grow.
Finally, can you give us an updated number on what's the kind of inventory that dealers are sitting on for both two-wheelers and passenger vehicles? How does that compare with earlier?
Yeah, two-wheelers, we are at about a month's inventory in most places. But in the passenger vehicles, that's where the pain is. We are at about 55 days. It's been slowly inching its way a few days a month in the last couple of quarters. We really need to look at this in a more detailed way, because last year it was a disaster. The number of days went up to about 85 days, which was awful for dealer profitability, because it's a complete waste of money in terms of interest. I hope the OEMs are a lot more aware this year, and it doesn't happen again towards the festive season.
And you don't believe that the companies will have to push the channel pipeline, right? Given the sort of growth expectations that the street has, with them sitting on 55 days of inventory already versus 85 days last year, the companies will not be pushing the pipeline much, right?
I hope not. We've been talking to them, we've been liaising with them, and we've been asking them not to do that. It doesn't help anyone. 21 days stock is more than enough. It's an inventory-proved number. 21 days stock is more than enough for giving the customer every option possible.
Appreciate you joining in, sir. Thanks a lot for speaking to us. Looking forward to catching up with you and understanding the trends emerging in the auto sector.